I have Ashwani Dubey, Supreme Court advocate, joining us on a discussion on this. Ashwani ji, clearly, the Supreme Court today has asked very tough questions as to what action was taken against short sellers. Now, we know that the Adani Group had, said that this is a whole game of short sellers and they have profited from this report. Now, does this statement get validation from the stand of the Supreme Court?
Look, the Supreme Court has very rightly pointed out three important questions to the Petitioners' Council. Honorable Court said that, look, when you take information from random public platforms or Twitter, you should at least check what happened. Now, it is very easy to make allegations. The Honorable Courts, these remarks are very important because people, based on certain newspaper reports, based on something which has cooked up outside this country in order to destabilize India's economy. Based on that, with a set agenda, they approach to the court and file a petition where there is no concrete evidence. And that too, when the committee of experts, the noted people of this country who are the experts of their own field, they have said that there is no evidence of a regulatory failure. The Honorable Justice A.M. Sapre's committee and the Honorable that committee has also found that no prima facie violation of existing rules or laws was found. In that situation, the Honorable Court said that, look, it is very easy to make allegation. Equally, you must think of a fundamental principles of the fairness. You are relying on a communication or a newspaper reports, but where is the evidence to that effect? And that is why, and another allegation which was made, that's about the advocate Suma Shekharan Sundaresan, the Honorable Court also said, Mr. Bhushan, this is not as if was an in-house counsel of the Adani Group or a retainer some time back. Lawyers make appearances in various cases, and you cite an appearance made by him 17 years ago. And this does not disqualify him. And this is a bit unfair, because that way people will stop being in committees. We appoint. That's Honorable Supreme Court's observation. So now, one thing from today's argument, it is clear that the agenda-driven exercise, which was taken by certain people in order to destabilize this country, in order to make allegations against a well-reputed economic entity of this country. And that too, when the expert committee formed by the Honorable Supreme Court with certain questions have categorically says that we have not found anything which is violative of the SEBI's regulations. And that too, SEBI is already investigating certain other issues. And where the SEBI says that, look, we have not found anything as of now. We have already asked to supply various materials, but let's see. The allegations which are being put in the court that have no concrete evidence, and that is why in so-called public interest litigations, Honorable Court have struck the Petitioners' Council, and this has become a fashion. Not now. Even if you see Pegasus issue, even if you see Rafale issue, and now this issue is still that the expert committee headed by the Honorable Supreme Court retired Justice A.M. Sapre and various other noted personalities, they have said that there is no evidence of a regulatory failure. And that too, if you find the report, that report is already, there is no questions of asking for the stock manipulation. There is also no market motive, this related party transactions which you are referring. So that is why the Honorable Court given this issue. And I think that the sense would prevail to those who work on the basis of a half-backed story which has no evidentiary value, which has no concrete evidence, and that too in order to destabilize country's growth.
Yeah. Mr. Dubey, when you talk about regulatory findings, the court has also said that nothing came out of the DRI probe, and CSAT had also approved DRI's conclusions. So, which clearly is also a significant, observation. And today, like you said, the Solicitor General had also raised a trend of news articles or media stories influencing Indian policies, and clearly, with the Supreme Court saying that legal institutions need to be, trusted more. What is the significance of that in today's context?
Yeah, that's the legal, because only the legal institutions or our countries, the statutory bodies, they are capable to deal these kind of situations. Court can only order for an inquiry, and that to the best, based on the allegations which were brought into the light of the Honorable Court. And Honorable Court said, look, we are appointing a committee. Committee will exercises jurisdiction and certain questions we are framing, the terms of reference we are framing, and we are also giving the best experts. They will, on their own expertise, they will decide it whether the allegations have any substance. And when the committee submits its report, after a thorough exercise, where is the question of questioning the committee's report? And that is why Honorable Court said that, look, it is unfair to make allegations against the regulatory body. This is unfair to make allegation against the watchdog, unfair to make allegations the investigating body, and then again you are making allegations that the expert committee that 17 years back somebody has appeared, and then to DRIs, the DRI, SEBI and other agencies report, you are saying that you don't believe it. And that is why, if you see, the Honorable Court very rightly have asked those questions and also have suggested that, look, we have to believe about the reports of our committee, and please do not make these kind of allegations. So let's see. And Honorable Court have also said that you should have disclosed that you got a report prepared based on which the client is relying. The SD's report, you see. So certain reports which has been published in certain newspapers and then alleging that against the statutory body, that is why Honorable CJI said SEBI is a statutory body, exclusively interested with investigation, stock market manipulation, and it is proper for a court without any proper material to say that we don't trust SEBI and we will form our own SIT. This has to be done with such much caliberation.
Right.
Yes.
Mr. Dubey, how do you see the court's observation and the court asking as to what steps have been taken on short sellers and also the kind of steps that have been taken to protect the interest of small investors? I think that is also a significant move, isn't it?
Yes, that's the Honorable Court being the custodian of the constitution and being the custodian of lakhs and crores people of this country is much worried. And we have one of the finest Chief Justice of India who in his wisdom have already appointed a committee, and committee report have also not suggested anything. But the Honorable Court's worry is right that at least the people who have invested in the company, their money should not go here and there, and that should be duly taken care of. That's an observation. But let's see what the judgment comes. But keeping in view today's Honorable Court's observation, Vasudha, it is clear that Honorable Court has prima facie found that the report, the petition which was filed, the public interest litigation, with no evidences, based on a certain media report, based on the reports which were prepared outside this country, in order to knowingly, deliberately, intentionally target one particular company or the business entity of this country. Yes.
The court has also raised some serious questions against the petitioner and Prashant Bhushan, and also on the NGO that he runs. And clearly, Mr. Bhushan had talked about the committee that was formed by the Supreme Court had raised allegations and flagged some concerns against it. Now, the court has basically talked tough on that part as well. So, how do you see those observations, sir? Because often we see that when we look at legal institutions or bodies appointed by Supreme Court or even government bodies, there are doubts and allegations that are sort of like raised by the aggrieved parties. How do you see the observation or the tough positioning of the Supreme Court on this matter?
Sometimes if it appears to the Honorable Courts in any of the hearings that the petitions or the arguments which are being raised are have no concrete evidence, and then the Honorable Court asks this kind of questions. It's a something which has happened inside the court, so I am nowhere to comment on that. But yes, one thing is clear: what is being referred in various legal journals, various legal legal reporters have reported that the Honorable Court has prima facie found there is no failure. And why on regulatory failure? If you see, the committee have said that we could not arrive at a finding of a regulatory failure on the legislative side. The court says that even the report which has been submitted and the subsequent SEBI's report which is before the Honorable Court did not find anything which needs our SIT probe and the allegations. And that is why there is no non-compliance, because if you see, there is no prima facie violation of existing rules or laws found. The report points to an ongoing investigation by SEBI on a minimum public shareholding in related party transactions. The report also finds that the SEBI, while referring the case to the enforcement director, did not make any prima facie charge. So, and so far as the stocks, allegations against the stocks which were there, the committee said that Adani stocks are stabilized at a new price discovery without destabilizing markets. And the report acknowledges measures undertaken by the Adani to comfort investors. So these are the questions. See, the judgment is yet to come, but something has happened inside the court, but has been largely reported. But yes, one thing is clear, that it was an agenda-driven exercise with
Right.
the ill-conceived, preconceived motive in order to knowingly, intentionally target one company, which is and where the people of this country have faith in a company which is known for the economic growth of the nation. So that's a selective exercise, I think, by those who have their biased mind in order to target the country's growth and also in order to target the economic growth.
Right.